guests on the dais and the organizer of this event, Sri Deepak Sahu from War India, honorable friends, and I'm really happy as a media man. I'm not technically very competent to speak as my previous speakers told like Kautalji and this gentleman from Israel and still I thought there are few points which one should definitely highlight. What are the common man, what they are thinking, those who really don't know what is cyber. Now they have started using these plastic cards, or you can say they are now using smartphones. But this layman, this common man, they really don't know. These experts, they are only few. I think 0.5% of the Indian population will be there. But I think in brief, because we are fortunate that we had with us our honorable Minister of State Home, Sri Kiranji Rijuji, is the most energizing and the most capable and you can say the competent person on cyber security and cyber law. And I think this government is really they have taken up many hard measures in this line, and just he told that in this budget also the government has allocated some special funds, but still whether the common man is really safe, whether the police is really competent, as whether he has got strict laws to handle, to face the situation that they are facing. And on that, I have really prepared a brief note. I hope you may like. You see, today, this our country is going through a massive transition phase due to demonetization, which everybody is talking about, and the government is moved, and the cyber security of the country that need to be reassessed. The government's emphasis on digitalization and making the country go cashless economy is all dependent on the cyber security apparatus. The information technology is a double-edged sword which can be used for the destructive as well as constructive work. It has now created for the mankind a fifth dimension to the land, sea, air and space. Though, unlike the other four dimensions, it is completely man-made and man-controlled. We all know how because of the constructive use of the IT, India's profile and wealth have gone up enormously in the world. But at the same time, and this is the destructive aspect, India ranks fifth in the world for cybercrime according to a report by the US-based Internet Crime Complaint Center, a partnership between the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the National White Collar Crime Center. I just quoted. In fact, the report said that as India became home to the fourth highest number of internet users in the world, cybercrime has been rising as more than 50% per year. Mark my word. In the past decade, over 9,000 Indian websites have been at the mercy of anti-India community. Hackers based on India, beyond India's borders, have become a threat for the government. I will not tell in detail because in the last 2-3 years, you have seen there are many websites that has been hacked by Pakistan agencies, and there are the news, G News, that their website also was hacked. Our, I think, army websites that was also hacked, and many examples are there. I am not going into the detail. But in India, cybercrimes comes under the traditional Indian Penal Code and the IT Act 2000, which was amended in 2008. And here lies the confusion. Since policing is a matter of the state and complaints have to be lodged with the local police, it all depends under the law, the police register a case. It so happens that for the most of the part, they prefer the age-old penal code. Local police, they are not conversant with the intricacies of the nationalities legislated IT Act. But once a case is filed under the penal code, the method of investigation must follow certain guidelines that make it extremely difficult to prove most cyber crimes. That is what our experts say. Given the security problems, there is increased emphasis on investment in the security of cyber infrastructure. Core internet protocols are insecure and an explosion of mobile devices continues to be based on the same insecure systems. This is adding up to the increased usage of internet in more vulnerable cyberspace. Protection of critical infrastructure operations has emerged as a major challenge. This is because trillions of dollars move through the networks every day involving broad range of activities including e-commerce, e-governance, travel, hospitality, healthcare and general communications. Even electricity distribution, water distribution and several other utility services are based on ICT infrastructures. The defense sector relies heavily on the electronic systems. Now see who is the ownership and who has got the responsibility. The critical infrastructure is largely owned and operated by the private sector in India. But is security only the private sector responsibility? Does this mean that government has a lesser role? There are some important cyber security issues that nations are grappling with. At an organizational level, cyber security is not merely a technology issue, but a management issue also. This is grounded enterprises risk management, which calls for an understanding of the human, process, legal, network, and ICT security aspects. It is obvious that the multiple agencies are involved in the security of ICT infrastructure. These include private operators for their respective pieces of the infrastructure. Their efforts needs to be firmly coordinated through an integrated command and control entity, which should serve as an unifying structure that is accountable for the cyber. Roles and responsibility of each of the parties need to be clearly defined. At the same time, the government need to establish appropriate policy and legal structures. Nations such as the United States have advocated for a market-based voluntary approach to industry cybersecurity as part of the national strategy to secure cyberspace. But this is not worked entirely because of the security investment made by the industry as per their corporate needs are not found to be commensurate with the broad national interest. How will the additional private investments be generated? Is there a case for government incentives as part of an incentive program to bridge the gap between those security investment already made and those additional ones that are needed to security investments already made? Severe security surveys point to this need. They reveal a lack of adequate knowledge among executives about the security policy and incidents. The latest technology solutions data, leakage, financial loss, and the training that is needed for their employees. I think there. Okay, I should conclude. The basic thing I wanted to speak before the minister, what to do to brief and to sum up this thing, I can say India really needs a good combination of laws and technology in harmony with the laws of other countries, keeping in mind common security standards. In the era of e-governance and e-commerce, the lack of common security standards can create havoc for global trade as well as for military matters. I think it is high time the government, the security experts, and the companies or persons who are involved in private sector and government sector, they should be more careful so that the common man, they should rely upon and this cashless decision and all those things can go seamlessly. Thank you. Thank you.